Hey guys, welcome back. Okay, in this video, I'm going to talk about single page application in AEM. So nowadays we are talking about single page application because what we have is we have various services, web services available, and we want to consume them. We want our page to be performed very well. So first thing to understand what is SPA or single page application. So if you go by the name only, don't want have to have like multiple URLs within our application. So there will be a single URL. So we can just relate it with the mobile application. So if we just install a mobile application, we don't even see the URL. So similar way, even in browser, we will have a single URL, and of course we will not reload the page again and again while we will navigate through the application. And then what will happen basically, the page markup, which is your HTML DOM, will be totally independent to data. So it means the data which we are fetching maybe from our web service, maybe native web service, or maybe we are hitting another service outside AEM environment, that will be independent. So it means when the user comes to your website and for the first time, of course, for the first time, then the markup will load. The data, maybe it's still loading, it's still coming from the backend, but your markup will load, and then asynchronously we will fetch the data. So that way we will actually resolve that issue. The issue is the page is loading because we have several web services or maybe images, etc., and because the page is so heavy, so it's taking time to load. So we will resolve that issue. So basically we can think of those are the benefits of using SPA. So low loading time, and then the performance will increase, etc. But of course there are few challenges as well, or we can say disadvantages. So the first challenge will be of course search engine optimization, because whenever we will have a user friendly URL, Google will crawl your URL, and after some point in time your page will be indexed in the Google or maybe another search engine, and then your content will be searched through search browser. But in this case, since we don't have URLs, of course there are ways we can do it, but yeah, this application will not be SEO friendly. Then the second challenge will be, because now we are going to see like there are multiple frameworks available to implement single page application in AEM, React, Angular, Handlebars, etc. But since now we are talking about multiple modern technology, now we'll see we need to have a Node, we need to have React, we need to have NPM, and on top of that we will have AEM. Then how we are going to sync basically React or Angular component with AEM component. So like we need such people or resources who will have the understanding of AEM as well as React, Angular, those front-end frameworks, so that we can integrate the application easily. So those are the challenges we can say, or we can say we need more techie guys. Okay, so as part of the to-dos, what we are going to do, we already have a out-of-the-box weekend React project. We also have an Angular project, but for this exercise, we are just going to concentrate on a React project. We will download that project, we will install that project, and we will see if it is working, how it is working in the AEM server. That's first thing. And then we will try to understand, I will try to explain basically the UI front-end module, as in what we have inside that, and how we are integrating, how we are basically building this too. And then finally, we have this React component working in AEM environment. So the very first thing is, if you have the 6.5 running on your machine, you should have this URL working on. We can even see, don't worry, even if this content is not available in your AEM environment, I'm going to provide the direct URL of that project in the description of the video. So let's click on the get started, and I will put this URL in the description of the video, and we can just scroll down. And we are going to use React application over here. We can click here, or either we can click here and then go back to that one. Either way it's fine. So this is the application we are going to create, and if you just scroll down, basically this documentation is just specifying what we are going to do and what is the basic prerequisites we need to have this application running on your AEM local instance. Okay. Yeah, so here we can find this latest code base available. Let's just open it. And the recent one is the 1.0.3, but I have used 1.0.0, the React one. Okay, and here we can download all these zip files as well as the source code. I have already downloaded just to save the time. So here I have downloaded packages as well as the code I have on my Eclipse running right now. But yeah, we have to download all these packages, and once we download these packages, we have to install these packages zip files in our AEM environment. So let's just do that. It might take 2 to 3 minutes to install all these packages. So since it's taking time, so you guys can maybe double the speed of the video. So similar way we can install other two packages. Let me just pause the video and do it, and then I will continue. So I have installed all these those packages, and now let me just open the AEM environment. And here we should find the new one, the Weekend Spa React application. We just open it, the USEN, and then the home page. So just to understand the structure, we have home page, and underneath we have two more pages, page 1 and page 2. I'm just going to open home page. Yeah, and it's working. If we see the navigation also showing basically the pages, and if we click on page 1, page 2, it's working. The back button is also working. So we have covered the first part, which is to download and install the Weekend React Spa application. Now moving on. Okay, the very first thing is we will understand what are the dependencies we have in package.json. So let's open package.json. Okay, so the required dependencies for a Spa application, basically we need these three Adobe components. Since it's right now I'm using 1.0, that's why it's CQ, otherwise it will be AEM. That will also work. AEM Spa, AEM React, and AEM Spa page. And then what happens basically, whatever scripts we have, as in the scripts we have in a React available in UI frontend, we using web technology, we basically convert, as in minify and convert it to inside the dist folder, or in our case it will be in build folder, and then we copy it to UI apps, because AEM works on client lib concept. So what we will do, we will create a client lib, and then we will just dynamically will generate it in under UI apps. So for that we need another dependency, that is here it is, yeah, this one, EM client lib generator. So what it will do, it will just copy from UI frontend and then will paste in UI apps. So this is package.json, and then the second important JS file is clientlibconfig.js. Okay, so basically here we have that mapping. So whenever we'll generate any client lib in UI frontend, then we have to copy it to UI apps. So we have to give that path as in on which path we want to copy. So if you see this is the client lib directory. So inside UI apps, src main content jcr root apps, and then we can spar react, and then under client libs. So under client libs we want to create another client lib which will be for React. Right now we don't see it because we have not compiled, but yeah, it will create a new client lib React, and basically the configuration is here in the same client lib config.js. So what we are doing here is, yeah, line number 41. So we are saying we want to create a new client lib React. Okay, and then the categories concept we have in client lib, right? So the category name will be, we can spar react, and assets will be, as in what will be copied inside the client lib. So we'll have a JS folder, a CSS folder, and resources folder. Okay, and yeah, so here we actually using this entry point filter, we are just considering what JS and CSS files we have to copy, and rest other files will be copied under resources folder. So if we see this entry point, this is nothing but the asset manifest data file, which is here. Yeah, so inside utils.entry point, let's go to utils. So here we are creating that manifest. Yeah, so we are reading all the files, and then only JS and CSS files we are keeping inside JS and CSS folder, and other files we are keeping under the resource folder. Okay, so let me do one thing. I will just build this project so that we can understand it. Okay, meanwhile this build completes, let's understand the code logic. So if we go to the this file again, so basically there is a index.js file inside UI frontend that will be the entry point of the application. So if we go to the index.js file, this will be under src, and there is an index.js file. Okay, and if you see this line number 47, what we are saying, this is the root, basically DOM root of our project. So inside this only we will render all the HTML thing. So everything is coming inside this only. So when we click on this page 1, page 2 or home page, right, what we basically that React application will do, it will just replace everything inside this div id. So if we want to have like multiple div id, that is also possible. But yeah, since we are talking about single page application, so there will be one div id which is root, and then inside that when we are clicking on something on or some event, we will just change using render function. We will just see. Okay, and then what happens, this index.js is calling app.js. So here only we are using app functionality, and inside app.js we are calling page, we are extending page, and we are calling page.js. Okay, which is the out of the box one. And if we see this, what we are doing, we are index.js is calling app.js is calling page.js, and from page.js is basically fetching the JSON representation of page. Okay, and there is a map to function method also within our each JS component. What it does, it will basically map your Spark component to AEM component. So let's see that. So for example, where we are going to maintain our components, it's inside src. So for example, we have in this application, the out of the box application, we have header, image, navigation, all these components, the React components we have. Okay, so this is the configuration of header component. Okay, and basically this require function, what it does, what are the required files we need. So for example, it needs header.sass file. Okay, this empty label, what it will do, if the properties, these are the properties we are trying to get from the page model, if those are empty, so it means it will be true, then it will just show the empty label. Okay, and these are the methods basically, as in what we want to specify in our header component, basically menu toggle, or if we are clicking on the back, so we are just retaining the we are going back to the history. And I was talking about this map to function. This is the AEM component, and this is the React component. So this mapping we are doing. So we can spar React components header, and if we see inside UI apps also, we can spar component header. So this is how we can do that mapping. Okay, and this render function only creates that DOM, and then finally puts inside your component, AEM component. So if we see this, what we are doing, if we are just checking our this is our React component, and if it is empty, then just return the null. And then if it is not empty, then what we are doing, we are returning the DOM here. basically these are the CSS classes, and this is again CSS class, and these are the methods we have specified above. So for example, this menu toggle. So again, using these methods, basically we have just modularized our function. Again, we are returning another DOM, HTML DOM. So this is complete, and if we see now, see our UI apps. Yeah, so the client lib React is created dynamically. Okay, because this is coming from this client lib config.js. So we said create a client lib, new client lib with the name this folder. Okay, and then the category name will be this, and we are copying JS and CSS file inside JS and CSS folder, and rest other files means images, resources, etc., fonts, etc., will be copied under resources folder. So let's see here. The category name is this. And one more thing we can see now, since I was talking about the entry point. So if we go to the UI front-end module, basically this entry point I'm talking about. Yeah, so this entry point was collecting JS and CSS file from the asset manifest file. Okay, so if we just see that the build folder is created, and this is the asset manifest JSON file. So we have CSS JS folder and resources folder also. So the files are just copied from that build folder to here. Okay, yeah, one more thing I want to highlight. See, because yeah, just 1 minute. So I will just go to the network tab here, and if right now I'm on page 1, if I go to page 2, let me refresh it. So right now I'm on home page. If I go to page 1, so we see there are 3 calls. Basically 2 are for images, and then the third page which is for page call. And if we see the very first thing, okay, so we are calling home page 1.edit context.json. Okay, and if we see the response, right, the response is in JSON form. Okay, so we are not fetching the page as a whole, but we are fetching properties of that page as a JSON data. So that's how we are saving basically page load time. Okay, if we are using content fragment, or maybe if using React, maybe you are using the fetch, using that fetch call. If we are trying to hit any web service, maybe it's a content fragment, or maybe using Sling model also we can hit another web service, or maybe can hit any database, external database, etc., and we can fetch the data from Sling model. So these two use cases I'm going to cover in my another video. Basically, the whole point to understand here is the your HTML DOM will be separate and React code will be separate, and React code can hit another web service, which is maybe the content fragment API, or maybe asset API, or any other third-party API. And then because we have that separation, so the page performance will be better. Okay, and since we have that call in asynchronous to that web service, so your page will be loaded first, and then the date, as soon as we get the data, that data will be bind to your page. So that's the whole concept to understand. Okay, so thank you so much for watching this video, and I will create the next video for Sling model as well as for content fragment for a single page application. Thank you so much for watching.